If you're considering a move to the Boston area and are curious about how this national news about the real estate market might affect your purchase, I'm here to give you my 10 cents. Normally I'd say 2 cents, but I feel like it's more valuable at this time in life, so I'm saying it's my 10 cents. I'm Jane, welcome to my channel, Living in the Boston Suburbs. Each month I release a video featuring a different suburb or some information about the Massachusetts Greater Boston market to help you make informed decisions about your relocation to the Boston area. So make sure you hit subscribe and let me know what towns you might be interested in having me feature. So where are we in the real estate market? It's early November 2022, and we are really in unprecedented times. You hear a lot of national news about falling inventory, falling prices, and rising mortgage rates. But what's happening in Tucson really doesn't affect what's happening here in Boston. So here's what I can tell you about the Boston market, Greater Boston. So we are seeing higher interest rates. So what that means is if you were approved to spend $1 million last spring, then maybe you're only approved or want to spend something like $925. So yes, we are seeing downward pressure on prices. However, what we're not seeing is a huge available inventory of homes to buy. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. One is that so many people with really great mortgage interest rates are choosing to stay put. And another factor is that baby boomers who have 60% or more of the housing stock are just not planning on moving. They're aging in place, they don't want to downsize, they're still working to put their kids through college, all kinds of factors. So we have historic low levels of available homes. So that naturally pushes prices up a little bit. So for example, in Wellesley, my hometown, where I sell the majority of real estate, I am seeing unprecedented historic lows in inventory. Now, in the early spring and summer of 2022, we were down to like 12 houses on the market in a city of 27,000 people. So now we've been hovering right around 36. So what we have been finding though is that homes that are brought on the market, priced right, and in great condition, they are still going over asking. So the really hard part for us realtors is like sometimes it's hard for us to guess which homes are going to go over asking and which might languish. So that has been a little bit different. Last week, I listed a terrific center entrance colonial with 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths that was built in the late 90s for $1,495. Now, if I had been pricing it last spring, I absolutely would have been well into the 1.5s. We had about 50 parties come through. So another thing that's good to know, there are tons of buyers out there. Even though it's November and normally we see a slowdown in the market, there are buyers waiting for good listings to come on for a number of reasons. Maybe they put off their purchase during the pandemic. Maybe they were unsuccessful in multiple bids in the spring, but regardless, they are not shy about stepping up with an over asking offer. So we were fortunate enough to get 3 offers, and I can confirm that particular home will be selling well over asking price. I listed another house last week in the 1.1s, and it's on a very busy road. And what we have found is there's been a little pushback on the price for a number of factors. It's near a school that's about to get torn down and rebuilt. It is near a busy road. There's only 1 full bath, 1.5 baths total. Those factors, again, if it were last spring, I would have expected it to go right away. And here we are 6 days in saying, geez, it hasn't sold yet. But we all have to get a grip because 6 days on the market is not a very long time. And this is not like the recession of 2010. And we don't expect it to get anywhere near like the recession in 2010. At this time of year, there were 175 homes on the market. So think about that difference between 36 and 175. So there's still going to be a limited number of available homes and a pretty healthy pool of buyers that are vying for those homes. Now, one thing that we've also seen different from the spring is we're now seeing offers with mortgage contingencies and inspection contingencies. So this is a more normal market. So when I'm trying to counsel buyers, one of the things I will tell them is I will try to have them compare to the market of 2018 or 2019, which was a little bit more balanced because Lord knows that the pandemic years were not a normal market. Now, something else that's interesting that came about because of the pandemic is some shifts in buyer and seller behavior. So for this, I'm drawing on some statistics that my broker shared with us at our sales meeting this week from the National Association of Realtors. So if you'd like more specific data, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to share it with you. But we're seeing a couple of really interesting trends. First of all, in New England, the hottest cities to move into are Nashua, New Hampshire, Worcester, Mass, and Portland, Maine. So what we're finding is that because of the pandemic, buyers are able to live further away from work and be remote, and they're opting for markets that are not as expensive, or maybe they have more land as closer to Boston. However, they might need to pop into the office one day a week, so you can manage that from those cities. And we're also seeing rural purchases are higher than suburban purchases. And this is a really surprising statistic. It's been many years since we've seen rural stronger than suburb. Another interesting statistic is that historically, people are moving way further from their home than they used to. For example, for years, the median distance of people moving was 15 miles, and now it has gone to 50 miles. We own a house in Quechee, Vermont, which is kind of near Dartmouth College and Hanover, New Hampshire. And we found that the demand for long-term rentals is up there, and the prices are up there by $100,000 on a $300,000 house, all because people are having the option of living up there, having that really nice lifestyle. You still are near a major hospital. Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center is right near Dartmouth College. And it's an easy commute to Boston if you do need to fly out for your job or your house company is headquartered there. And that was not something that we saw before 2020. So in general, if you're relocating to the Boston area, you're still going to find a limited number of homes available for sale. You're still going to find that there's competition for the best houses. And if you can be a little bit flexible on condition, then you might just be able to snap something up and maybe do some cosmetic updates later. It's definitely still the homes that everything's sparkling new or in great condition that are going over asking. I'm also advising buyers to open the possibilities to more towns, where in maybe a few years ago, people would be very fixated on one or two towns, and with such limited inventory, we're encouraging people to look a little further afield. And again, the needs of buyers are different too. We're finding that more people want more rooms just because they might have to have Zoom offices for both husband and wife, and maybe even adult kids living at home. Typically, this time of year is the slowest in real estate, and I'm actually bringing on 2 new listings this November, which in the olden days, in before times, we might have waited till January to get top dollar. But because there's demand out there, we're encouraging sellers to just go ahead and put their homes on the market. So if you were thinking of postponing your search until January, then it might be a good idea to start taking a look now. And now that we're into November, a standard closing is 60 days. You might well be closing in the first quarter anyway. So that's the scoop on the greater Boston real estate market. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from my YouTube viewers, and looking forward to introducing you to our terrific towns.